Hello everyone and welcome to the Solo Gamers Club. Thanks for joining me at the channel. Tonight we're going to continue with an extended playthrough of Mage Knight, and this is a solo scenario called Conquest. Right now we are just in the beginning of day 2 out of a 3-day and 3-night scenario. But before we continue the playthrough, I have to show you a major oversight that I committed. When Wolfhawk upgraded from level 1 to level 2, I looked at that symbol there and I saw the little shield and I thought that that was the same as this shield. What that represents is that we get a card from the Advanced Actions deck and we're entitled to a skill from the skill offer. Well, I made the mistake of treating that as though we went up a level. So we're going to have to correct that. Right now, we are level 3. This is such a silly mistake, and I don't know how I made it, but I did. When the game begins, we start out with 2 armor and a hand limit of 5, and it clearly says on the token 1 to 2. So that means that that token is active during levels 1 and 2. When we get to the 3rd level, that's when this token should be removed and placed aside, giving us another command token. And then we have a armor of 3, but still with a hand limit of 5. Somehow I added an extra movement of this, giving us that, which is incorrect. That should only happen between levels 5 and 6. So what we have to do now is we only have a hand limit of 5, and I've got 6 cards in my hand. So I'm going to randomly take 1 card away, put it back into the deed deck, and that will correct the error, at least for this, at this point. All right, so I've randomly discarded a card back into our deed deck, and I'll shuffle that in. And now we have a hand of 5 cards like we should. So, all right, we'll take care of Tovek's action. He's got a blue, a green, and a red. Well, unfortunately, Tovek's got 2 red crystals, so 2 more of those are going to come out. A white and a blue. Okay. He's still got fair enough cards left in his hand, so all right. All right. Well, we have an rampaging orc next door to us. The problem is it has the elusive ability. And what that means is physical attacks against that creature are ineffective. So we would have to get double the amount of damage against that creature in order to take it out. Now I have the ability, by use of this spell, Expose. Target enemy loses all fortifications and resistances this combat. Ranged attack 2. So that would be one way that we could take that creature out. I would use that ranged attack 2 from Expose along with my skill, which is Deadly Aim, and that would give us a total of 3 ranged attack, and since its resistances are eliminated, we would be able to take it out. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. Be a simple solution for us. But first, I think I'm going to use the Tranquility card. It allows us to heal 1, so we'll get rid of that wound that we're carrying. All right, so the wound is going to be placed in the discard, and we've freed ourselves from that burden. And now we're going to launch our attack against those rampaging orcs. I'm going to play Expose, and I'm going to use a gold mana from the source as a white mana. And that says, target enemy loses all fortifications and resistances this combat. Ranged attack 2. So in addition to that, I'm going to use my skill, which is our Deadly Aim. That gives us +1 to ranged attack. So this ranged attack will become ranged attack 3, and we've killed those orcs without any problem. That's going to earn us 4 fame points. So we're going to earn 4 fame points. 1, 2, 3, 4, moving us up to the next level and increasing us up to +1 on the reputation chart. Okay, so I think that's going to bring our turn to a close, we're going to re-roll that mana. And this one's a white, so we've got a white, gold, and blue. This is going to be refreshed for next turn, and these cards will go into the discard. All right, and we can draw our next hand of cards, which is going to give us, we currently have 2 cards, Determination and Temporal Portal. But first, we go through our upgrade. So because we have went up to level 4 now, we're entitled to a draw from the advanced action offer and another skill. But we don't get the level of the token like I made the error earlier. So, all right, so we have 17 fame points, and we can select one of these cards now from the advanced action offer. And I think we're going to end up taking Spellforge. I don't want this blue card to be going into Tovok's hand. This is actually pretty good. It says gain 1 crystal to your inventory of the same color as one of the spell cards in the spells offer. And if we do power it up, gain 2 crystals into your inventory of the same colors as 2 different spells in the spell offer. So that's pretty powerful. And we're going to take that and put that on the top of our deed deck. And we'll refresh this offer. And the refreshment is Blood Ritual. Okay, now we're entitled to a skill offer. Now we do have access to one of Tovok's skills, but we'll see what we've got here. And first one is there, and the second one is there. Okay. The first one is Hawkeyes. Once a turn, move 1. In addition, during a night, exploring costs 1 move less. During the day, you may reveal garrisons of fortified sites at a distance of 2. Well, that's kind of handy. The other one is Refreshing Bath. And once per round, except during a combat, we can flip that to get a heal and a blue crystal. So I guess this is probably more useful, but I do like the supply of crystals coming in. So I think I'm going to go with this one. We'll put that into an active position. And then this one goes into the skills offer. We can't take it though. All right, now we're going to draw our cards. Right now our hand limit is 5. We've got Determination and Temporal Portal, so we'll get 3 more cards. And we've got the Spellforge. We've got Improvisation. And we have Swiftness. Okay, that'll be our hand for the next turn. And now let's see what's happening with Tovok. A blue, a red, and a white. Well, he has 1 white crystal, so we'll flip another one. All right, so he's still got several cards in his deed deck, so we've got a little time. All right, we're currently on that monastery that's there. And I think we're going to attempt to recruit these savage monks. These savage monks are available at a monastery. And pretty good card. It's got siege attack 4, which is interesting. But those cost 7. And we'll have to do some creative card play in order to generate enough of that. I'm going to start out with playing Improvisation. And we're going to power that with gold mana from the source. That gives us the red mana we need. Discard another card from your hand to get, in this case, Influence 5. So we'll discard another card from our hand, and I guess we will get rid of this Temporal Portal. All right. So we've got 5 influence. I'm going to play both Swiftness and Determination sideways to give us 2 more. That gives us 7, and that's enough to secure the services of these savage monks, and we're going to add them to our second command token. I've got 1 card left, and I'm going to use it. We'll play Spellforge. Gain 1 crystal to your inventory of the same color as one of the spell cards in the spell offer. All right, so our choice would be blue or white, and we already have a blue crystal, so I think I will take a white crystal and place that into our inventory. All right, that's going to end our round. We have no cards left. So we'll roll that die. And it is red. We've got red, white, and blue in the mana offer. These cards will be discarded, and we'll draw up to our hand limit. Well, there's only 4 cards left in our hand, so next turn we're going to have mana draw, promise, rage, and threaten. So that's what we're going to have in our hand. All right. And now it is Tovok's turn, and he's got threaten, stamina, and agility. That's all of his cards. So he will be declaring end of round next turn. All right, we've only got 4 cards in our hand. We do have use of our foresters, and I think I'm going to start with that. And we're going to activate our foresters for move 2. It also says the move costs of forest, hills, or swamps are reduced by 1. So we'll activate the foresters, giving us 2 points of movement, and we're going to scout this area. This is the last of the countryside tiles. And it will be placed in that configuration. All right, what do we have here? We've got a deep mine, a village, a maze, and a keep. So we'll place the keep token out there. Okay. And that's it. So we're still in movement now, so we got to decide what we want to do. Now we're going to have a night turn coming up, and might be a good opportunity for us to be able to traverse this desert terrain at night, because that's a little cheaper. It only costs 3 at night as opposed to 5 during the day. So, and I think what I'm going to do is, since it's daylight, we're going to move up to here, and we'll be able to flip that token to see what's there in that keep. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to play all 4 of my cards sideways to get movement. So that's going to give us a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 movement. So we'll move 2, 4, and then we can check this thing out. And that's what they've got. And those are considered crossbowmen, and they have the swift ability. To block this enemy, you need twice as much block as its attack value. All right, well, they're going to be fortified because there's a wall there, not to mention that they're also in a keep, so they're actually double fortified, I guess. And that is all of the cards we have, so I think we're just going to declare the end of the round. Okay, with the end of the round, we're going to be placing this pathfinding green card into Tovok's hand. And he's also going to be gaining, unfortunately, a blue crystal, which I didn't want to happen, but it did. We're going to refresh this offer. See what's there. And we've got Song of Wind, Into the Heat, and Ice Shield. Okay, we'll do the same for the spell offer. And we'll place those in the discard and see what the next set of spells offers us. Fireball, Mist Form, and Offering. All right. Now we have to replace our unit offer and our special offer for the monastery. We'll get that out right now. And that one is Swiftbolt. Okay, let's see what our units are. Still silver-backed. We've got Scouts, Illusionists, and Scouts. Okay. One thing that's nice about Scouts is they're pretty much available everywhere. All right, so this is going to be the start of our second night. We'll flip that to the night side and re-roll our dice. Okay, we've got 2 black and a red, and I don't think you can have 2 of those specialized dice. I think those have to be re-rolled. And we got a white and a gold. Well, the gold is going to be not useful to us. And before we pick our tactic, I'm going to draw our 5-card hand limit and see what we've got available to us for this coming turn. And we're going to have mana draw, concentration, threaten, promise, and our expose spell. So that's what we've got. All right, now we'll determine what type of tactic we're going to use. And I think we're going to select Mana Search. It says once per turn, before you use mana from the source, you may re-roll up to 2 mana dice in the source. When choosing dice to re-roll, you must pick gold, depleted dice first if there are any. So I think we will keep that one. Now we'll figure out which card Tovok is going to take. And I think we'll just line these up like this, and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, he's going to take Long Night, so he will have the initiative for this coming night. So we'll set Tovok for the turn sequence at the top, and he'll take his turn first. And we'll see what cards he comes up with here. Blue, which is good. We want to get rid of those. Another blue, great. And a red. Well, he's got 2 reds, so 2 more cards will come out. We got rid of 3 blue already, so that's a good thing. All right, it is our turn. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any move cards, but we do have our foresters, and I'm going to use them for their move ability. And that'll give us 2 movement points. And now all I need is 1 movement point to get to this desert location. So what we'll do there is I think we'll use the Threaten card sideways. That'll get us our 3rd movement point, and we're going to move to that desert location. It's cost of 3 at night. All right, we're still in our movement phase, and what I'm going to do now is use our Mana Search card, and we're going to be able to re-roll 2 mana, and one of them will have to be the gold. So we're going to do that, and I'm hoping that we can roll a black mana, and then that will determine whether or not I'm going to try to strike against these crossbowmen that are there. So I'm going to roll a gold and a red, and we'll hopefully try to get a black mana. And we did get a black mana. We've got a red and a black. That is great. So now I am going to continue moving, and I'm going to spend Promise and Mana Draw. We'll play those sideways to generate 2 movement, and that will move us into the location. All right. So we've entered this keep, and we're going to attack. And I'm going to use this Mass Expose spell, and we're going to power that with black mana. It says enemies lose all fortifications this combat, or enemies lose all resistance this combat, ranged attack 3. We're going to have them lose their fortifications. Now we can do our ranged attack 3. And I'm going to supplement that with our skill +1 to ranged attack, either siege or standard ranged attack. So we have ranged attack 4, and because now they are unfortified, we've got them. And we're going to gain 3 fame points. And we've taken control of this keep, and we'll mark it accordingly. It was a great use of that spell. Okay, so we're going to gain 3 fame. 1, 2, 3, we're up to 20. But unfortunately, we lose 1 reputation for attacking that keep, so we're back down to 0 again. And I think that's going to be the end of our turn. We'll get back our Deadly Aim token. And we're going to have to re-roll that die, and this card will go back into the discard. So we'll get a roll on that black mana. And it's blue. So we have a blue, red, and white in the supply. We'll clean up our cards and redraw our hand. We have currently in our hand Concentration. So we'll draw 4 cards. And we get Spellforge, Rage, Tranquility, and Stamina. Okay, so that'll be our hand for the next turn. Now, I almost forgot that since we've got this keep, it says you can recruit units with the keep icon here. If you end your turn on or adjacent to a keep you own, your hand limit is 1 higher for each keep you own. So we're actually going to have 1 extra point of hand limit. So I'm going to gain an extra card. And we'll take Swift Reflexes. That was the top card. Okay. Okay, we'll move back to Tovok. White. Another blue, that's good. And a green, he has no green. Excellent. All right, we're up next. I'm going to start out by playing Stamina, and I'm going to charge that with a blue crystal from the supply, giving us move 4. And we're going to scout out this area, and that's going to be our first of our core tiles. And it is the Red City. Okay. So that new tile is going to have 2 Draconum and a Ruin and a Red Mine in addition to that level 5 city. All right, so we have a level 5 city. We set the ring in there for level 5, and that says it's going to have a white, a dark, and a brown defender. We'll get out the city card for the Red City. So we'll get out that card, and that says that that city, the forces there will have the special ability, and that is going to be the Brutal ability. If unblocked, it deals twice as much damage as its attack value. All right, now we have to get out a couple Draconums and put those out as well. So even though it's night, I believe that these Draconum are going to be flipped because they're considered rampaging enemies. And boy, those don't look too good. Well, we have a High Dragon here, and the other one is an Ice Dragon. All right. Now we have 4 movement points. We've spent 2 of them for this exploration. And, well, I don't know. If we attempt to move into here to attack the city, we're going to have both of those rampaging Draconum are going to strike at us. So we have to come at this from a different angle, I think. I think what we'll do is spend another 2 points of movement, and we'll search out this location. All right. And it goes like that. We've got 2 rampaging orcs, another keep, a deep mine, and a maze. Okay, so we've used up our movement points, and let's see what we want to do here. We'll reveal those rampaging orcs. Okay, another hag and a digger. Okay, I think what I'm going to do then is I'm going to cease the movement, and we're going to play Spellforge. Gain 1 crystal to your inventory of the same color as one of the spells in the spell offer. Well, I think we are going to gain a red crystal, and we'll add that to our inventory. We've got a red, white, and blue in our inventory right now. Okay. All right, I'm going to launch an attack on these hags, and they won't give us enough fame to move up a next level, though, unfortunately, but if we can also get these diggers out, we would be able to move up a level. So what I'm going to start out with is I'm going to attack them. I won't be using any ranged attack, so we're going to have to block 3 of their attack. I'm going to use my Savage Monks, and we're going to use that for attack or block 3. Block 3 in this case. So we block their attack. We don't have to worry about their poison. Now I'm going to use Rage, and I'm going to power that with a red crystal from our supply. That gives us attack 4. And I think what I'll do then is spend this Tranquility card sideways, giving us attack 5 total, and that's enough to take out those cursed hags. That'll give us 3 fame. Okay, so we get 3 fame, not enough to move up yet, and we're going to get 1 in reputation because those were rampaging orcs. So we'll do our cleanup, and we have to re-roll that 1 die that we used. We'll take care of that now. And that's a white, so we've got 2 white and a red in the supply. And now we're going to draw up to our hand limit. Now our hand limit is increased by 1 because we are within the keep that we own. So we've currently got in our hand swift reflexes and concentration, so I'll be able to draw 4 more cards. All right, and we end up pulling determination, swiftness, march, and rage. That's great. All right, and we'll move on now to Tovak. A green, a white, and a green. Okay, he has no green, so he's got quite a few cards left in there, so we've got a little time. Well, we don't want to provoke these Draconum, so I think what I'm going to do is use the opportunity, since we are at night, I'll move into the desert and we'll launch an attack on those diggers. And then we'll be able to move up in level at least. So I'm going to need to generate some movement. I need 3 points of move. Okay, I'm going to play March for 2 and Swiftness for 2. That's 4 movement points. We'll move into the desert, costing us 3, and then we're going to engage those diggers. Now those diggers are fortified, so we can't use any ranged attack against them. We'll go right to the attack sequence. They're launching a 3-point attack against us. So I think what we'll do is I'm going to use determination. I'm going to power that with blue mana from our supply, giving us block 5. That'll block them. And then I'm going to play rage. And we're going to power that with red mana from the source. Attack 4, more than enough to take out those diggers. And that's going to earn us 2 fame and another reputation. So we'll get rid of those diggers. Goodbye. So we'll get 2 more reputation, moving us up to 25. I'm sorry, fame, and 1 more reputation, moving us up to +1 on the higher end. That's great. All right, we'll do our cleanup, and we're going to re-roll that red mana die that we used. That's a gold. That's not very helpful at night. And we'll clean up the rest of our cards and then draw our hand. Now we have a hand limit of, once again, we're within 1 space of a keep that we own. So our hand limit increases by 1. We have swift reflexes and concentration, and I'll draw 4 additional cards, bringing us up to our hand limit of 6 now. And we've got Crystallize, Temporal Portal, Tirelessness, and March. So that's what we have in our hand. And now Tovak is up. A white, a red, and a white. Well, he's got 1 white crystal, so we get 1 extra there. He still has a total of 4 cards in his hand, so more than likely he's going to exhaust his hand, but we'll see what happens. All right, I'm trying to come up with a plan as to how we should handle this now. This is our 2nd night, so we're going to have a day and a night remaining to not only find the next city, but to conquer both of these. The red I'm not really going to be able to get at until I can come around, so I'm thinking what I should do is generate some movement, and then we'll move into this maze, and then we can scout up above. And we've got a 50-50 chance of finding the other city. And then from that point, we can make a plan as to how we're going to handle this. It would all depend on what is going to be in that location, I guess. So I need to generate some movement. We're going to have to go around that Draconum, so I'm going to need quite a bit of movement. Yeah, we're going to need 3 for the hills, 5 for the swamp, and another 5 for the forested area. Okay, I'm going to start out by playing concentration, and we're going to gain a blue crystal. So we'll add a blue crystal into our supply. We've got a blue and a white one now. Then I'm going to play Crystallize, and we're going to pump that up with a blue mana from our source, or from our supply rather. Gain a crystal of any color to your inventory. I'm going to gain a green. We'll take a green, and then I am going to play Tirelessness. That's going to give us move 2, and the next card played providing move will give us +1 to move. All right, so we've got 2 moves so far. I'm going to play the March card, and we're going to power that with the green mana we just picked up. So that's worth 5. So right now we've got a total of 7 movement points. 2 for the Tirelessness, 4 for this card, and +1 because of Tirelessness. So 7. And I'd like to get to at least the swamp. Then I could use this Temporal Portal card, and we'll be able to move 1 space and then gain an extra card in our next hand. So I think that's what we'll do. I'll play Swift Reflexes to generate 2 additional move. So that'll give us a total of 9 movement. And we'll spend 3 there and 5 there. That's 8. We can't look at the keep because it's nighttime. We'd have to attack it to find out what's there. All right, so that is going to be our turn. We'll clean up our hand here and see what we've got for next round. Only got 1 card left in my D deck, and that is going to be the excuse me, Improvisation. All right, we've got Temporal Portal and Improvisation. Okay. Now we've moved up a level, so we're able to get another command token. Let's do that. So right now we are at level 5. So we can take this token and flip it for another command token, and now we are at level 5. We have 3 armor, and our hand size now is 6. Now in this case it won't matter. We have no other cards in our D deck to draw, but we're up to 6 now at least. And now it's Tovok's turn. A red, a green, and a red. Well, he's going to take 2 more. That'll exhaust his hand, so he's going to be declaring end of round next turn. All right, we are up. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to play this Temporal Portal card. It says, play as your action for the turn. You may move to an adjacent revealed safe space without provoking rampaging monsters. So we'll do that. We'll move it into the adjacent space, and that's going to be our whole turn there. And at least now, in the next turn, we'll be able to scout this out, and maybe we can find that city. So that will be that. Okay, Tovok is out of cards. He's going to declare end of round, and all I have left is Improvisation. So I can't use that because it says discard another card from your hand to get move 3. So we can't use that. All I would be able to generate is 1 movement. So I'm going to declare end of round. I think one thing I will do before we do that, I'm going to use this skill to have us gain a blue crystal. That's a once per round use. So we'll gain at least a blue crystal from that. We have a blue and a white now. And now we'll move to the end of round. Okay, we'll take care of our end of round. And Tovok is going to be gaining a blue card, unfortunately. We'll add that to his hand. He's also going to be gaining a red crystal. That is his 3rd red crystal. He has 3 red, 3 blue, and a white. Okay, we'll refresh our offers now. See what is available. Okay, we've got Force of Nature, in need. I definitely am in need. And Pure Magic. Okay. And now we'll take care of our spell offer. And we've got Snowstorm, Call to Arms, and Tremor. Okay. And now we'll take care of our unit offer. Now we have core tiles, so we're going to be getting a gold, a silver, and a gold. Here's the first gold, and that's Amotep Freezers, Udum Crossbowmen, and Ultim Guardians. Okay. And now we're going to refresh our monastery item, and this one is Learning. right. All right, now we'll re-roll our dice and turn that over to our final day of the game. Let's see what we've got. A gold, a white, and a blue. That's pretty good. Okay. Okay, now we're going to draw our hand, and our hand limit now is 6. We don't gain our benefit for the keep, so we just get 6 cards. And we've got Threaten, Crystallize, Swiftness, March, Promise, and Determination. Okay, that's what we've got for a hand. Now we've got to decide on our final day tactic. And our choices are going to be the right moment or early bird. And I think we'll take the right moment. It says, one time this day during your turn, you can announce that you will take another turn immediately after this. If you do, flip this card face down. So we'll take that. Tovok is going to get 1, so he'll be going first. Okay, here's Tovok's turn. A blue, a white, and a red, of course, so 3 more. I don't know. 1, 2, and 3. That's not good. All right. All right, we're in this maze right now. And that would give us an opportunity to try to get a spell. And let me take a look at the spells in the spell offer. Okay, there's some good spells out here. This snowstorm spell gives us a ranged ice attack 5, which would be pretty good. One thing I noticed, I'm having trouble getting green mana, and that is a definite problem for me. I noticed that a couple turns ago. The other one is Call to Arms. You may use an ability of one unit in the unit's offer this turn as if it were one of your recruits. You cannot assign damage to the unit. And then Tremor. Target enemy gets armor -3, and all enemies get armor -2. Armor cannot be reduced below 1, but again, that's green mana, see? Right now we've got blue and white mana in our inventory, and the source is blue, gold, and white. So I think the first thing I can do is generate some movement, and we'll do a march. That'll give us 2 movement points, and that'll be sufficient to put out the core tile. And let's see if it is a city or not. It is. It's a green city. All right. There's 2 rampaging orcs, a glade, and a village. All right. Well, this green city is going to be a level 8, and that's got 2 white defenders and 2 brown. We'll place out our rampaging orcs. All right. All right, the green defenders are going to have poison. That'll be their special ability. All right, we've got these orc summoners in front of us, and I think we will launch an attack on them. What I'm kind of planning on doing is, this is kind of rough terrain. It's going to be really tough moving through there, but I'm thinking the green is probably the easiest. Well, not easiest. That's got 4 defenders. This has only 3. But we can at least come around the back of this without disturbing these Draconums. So I think we'll launch an attack on the orc summoners. We'll move to our ranged attack. I'm going to use Swiftness powered with a white mana crystal to give us ranged attack 3. And then we are going to use our Deadly Aim to give us a 4th point of ranged attack. And we're going to take these guys out before they know what hit them. That'll be worth 4 fame. So this will give us 4 fame, moving us up to 29, and +1 to reputation. We're at +2 now for taking out those rampaging orcs. All right, we'll do our cleanup now. we'll re-roll that die. And it is a gold. That's good. We got 2 gold and a blue in the source. All right. And now we'll draw our cards for our hand. We've got currently 4 cards in our hand. We've got Threaten, Crystallize, Promise, and Determination. So we'll draw 2 new ones. And we get Tranquility and Mana draw. It's not much on the combat aspects. We do have our Right Moment tactic, which would allow us to take another turn before Tovok would go. And I think we will end up doing that. I'll use my Right Moment tactic and we'll take another set of turns. And I think what I'd like to do is, oh boy, yeah, this is tough. I'm thinking to find out what's in the green city. When we move next to it in daylight, we can see what's in there. And then move through the swamp, attack those rampaging orcs, and then we could decide how we're going to handle the last 2 cities. So I'm going to begin by generating some movement. And I don't have any move cards. I think what I'll do, I'll use this Tranquility card and we'll use that to draw a card. We'll try that. And I end up with Spell Forge. Okay. And I think I will use the Spell Forge card. We're going to power that with blue mana. It says gain 2 crystals to your inventory of the same colors as 2 different spells in the spell offer. Well, I'm going to take a white and a green. So right now we have 2 white, a green, and a blue in our inventory. And we need to generate at least 3 movement in order to see what's in the city. So I'm going to utilize my foresters. That'll give me move 2, and the cost of forest will be reduced by 1. So that'll be only 2 points to travel into there. And that'll be sufficient with the movement given to us from the foresters. Now we're adjacent to that city and we'll see what's in there. There's going to be 2 white and 2 brown defenders. And we'll see what's in that city. Okay, here we go. And we've got, well, let's see what these things are. Okay, those are gunners. Next one is freezers. Uh-oh. And then that is a crypt worm. And finally, it's a gargoyle, I believe. Yep. Okay, so that's what's inside the city. All right, so we have to decide what we're going to do here. I've got 10 cards left in my deed deck. This is really a tough decision to make here. The choice is we could attack the red city first by moving here, moving into the ruins, and then launching the attack on the easier of the 2 cities. And then I think there might be enough time left to recoup from that. And it's going to be a night turn coming up, so we'd be able to move. Either one of those is going to cost us 5 movement, and it'll be 2 movement to get into the city. So I don't know if we have enough time to move to attack the red first, or do we stay here and launch an attack on the more difficult green city? Well, the problem is I have 5 cards left in my hand right now for this turn. None of them are movement capable. So it would cost us 5 to move into the ruin because it's daylight. In the desert, it would cost 5 to move into the swamp. Or do we stay here and then we can move into the city, even though that's it's always 2 movement points to enter a city because I'm sure they have roads there. So I'm not sure what to do. I'm probably not strong enough, and even if I took out these orcs, they would only give us 2 fame, so that would move me up to 31. I won't be able to get my next level up. And if I travel to the village, after we were safe, we took out those orcs, I could recruit Udam crossbowmen. we're able to get those at a village. The other two would have to be at a keep or a city. That's Ultim Guardsmen and Emotep Freezers. And it seems like that's going to be too much movement to do that, so we've got to decide on a city attack, I think. And, well, I think this is going to be the wrong decision, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to end my turn here. And I think what we'll do is we'll draft up to our 6-card hand limit, so we'll get a new card. Maybe it'll be a movement card. And then we can decide what to do. So let's end the turn. We'll clean up our cards. And we'll re-roll that die, see what happens. It is a green. Okay, so it's a green mana die. We'll put that in the source. We've got 2 gold and 1 green. Now we'll draw up to our hand limit. I've got 5 cards in my hand. We'll draw a new one. And we get improvisation. So we've got improvisation, crystallize, mana draw, threaten, promise, and determination. None of them are moves. Not good. We've already used our foresters, so all we have left is our savage monks. Well, let's let Tovok take his turn, and then we'll see what happens. Okay, here's Tovok's turn. A white, and a green. Well, he's got no green, so we're lucking out there. All right, we're up, and I really have no idea what is the best course of action to take. I'm sure the viewers are screaming at the screen saying, Keith, do this or do that, but I don't know what to do. Now I have Savage Monks, and those have, by spending a green mana, we get Siege Attack 4, and I could supplement that with a Siege Attack 1 with my Deadly Aim. So that would give us 5 Siege Attack. And that would be sufficient to take out these gargoyles. That I know I could do. But I don't have a lot of block. In fact, I've got a block 5, which is a determination card. So I'm thinking maybe my best bet is to just spend the 2 movement points and attack the green city and see if we're able to take some of these things out. Maybe I'd be able to build up my fame at least by taking some of these creatures out. And then if it takes 2 attempts, we're going to have a lot of wounds in the process though, but I think I'll try it. So we're going to try and launch an attack on the green city. I need to generate 2 movement to get in there. So I'll have to figure that out. Well, these influence cards are not going to do me much good right now, so I'm going to spend both of those sideways. That'll give us 2 movement, and that'll be sufficient to enter the green city. So we'll do that. We'll move on now to our ranged attack. I'm going to use my Savage Monks. We're going to power them with green mana from the source. And then we are going to get Siege Attack 4 along with Siege Attack 1 from our Deadly Aim. That'll be Siege Attack 5. So let's do that. I have to decide now if I should be using the mana from the source or from my inventory. We can only use 1 source die. Well, I guess I'm going to power that with green mana from my inventory. So that gives us a total of 5 Siege Attack. So what I'm going to do then is use that to take out these gargoyles. And they're gone. Wait a minute. Those gargoyles are resistant to physical attack. I need to get 8 Siege Attack. Oh boy. Nope, that's not going to work. So we're going to have to take that stuff back. We'll take all this back. We can always take our turn back if nothing changed. So we'll take this back, and right now I'll take back my movement too. We'll put us back where we were and see what we want to do. Oh, I did forget one thing. We should have placed a ruin token here, and it's daylight, so it'll be face up. This is guarded. It's got 2 rampaging orcs there. Yeah, I'm really in a catch-22 here. I've got no movement cards. It would take 5 cards. Well, I can use improvisation. That would give me move 5 if I power that. Yeah, maybe we'll try this instead. I'm going to play improvisation. I'm going to power that with a gold die from the source. That gives us the higher ability. Discard another card from your hand to get 5 move. So I'll get rid of this promise card, the influence card, and then that gives us 5 move, and that'll be enough for us to get into the ruin. So that's where we're at. Now I could decide to attack that ruin. That's going to give us a mana crystal for each color. Yeah, that's listed as a magic treasure, so maybe we're better off trying that. So I'll do that. We'll attack the 2 rampaging orcs that are there. And let's see what's there. We've got a wolf rider and an orc summoner. Okay. All right, we'll start out with ranged attack, and I'm going to use my Savage Monks powered with green mana to get siege attack 4. We'll do that. We'll power that with green mana from our reserves, and that gives us 4 siege attack. That'll be enough to take out these summoners. We'll take them out. And now we've got to deal with the wolf riders. All right. I need to generate a total of, now those are swift. We need to generate twice as much block as its attack rating. All right. And then I still got to come up with, that ain't going to work. Oh boy. All right, I think I figured it out. I'll see if this works. We're going to attack the wolf riders. They're going to launch an attack on us. If we don't block that, it's going to be double. So we've got to get a total of 6 block. So I'm going to play Determination powered with a blue mana crystal. That'll be block 5. And I'll play this Threaten card to block it for 1 point. That'll be block 6. That'll be the 6-point attack from the wolf riders. Now we have to generate a total of 4 damage. And I'm going to use my Deadly Aim. The Deadly Aim says that we can add 2 to a card that provides any type of attack, including sideways. So we're going to play Crystal sideways for 1 point of attack. So that'll give us 3, and then I'll play Mana Draw sideways for a 4th point. And we'll take out the wolf riders. That took a lot of resources, but we did it. So we've killed both of those. All right, so we're going to gain a total of 7 fame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, moving us up another level. Plus we're going to gain 2 reputation for taking out rampaging orcs. I think you get that. I don't know. They're rampaging orcs, but they were inside of a ruin. I'll have to check that. Well, I don't know the answer. The card says that if you defeat them, you gain +1 reputation, and that's listed on the Marauding Orcs card. These, I don't know if these are considered marauding, but we'll give it to us. So we'll move up our reputation up to the max, and I think that is going to be the end of the turn. I have no cards left. So we'll do a cleanup. Get rid of these cards. Whoops. And then we have to roll that die. It's a red. Okay. And now we can draw up to our hand limit. Now it's still day, so we can see what's inside this city. There's a white, a brown, and the darker one must be a draconum. Yeah, I guess that's what it is. So we'll see what we've got inside. The white one is going to be a freezer. Okay. The brown one is Medusa. Oh boy. And then the draconum is a fire dragon. Is that what that is? Yeah, fire dragon. Okay. So that's what we'd be up against. Well, I'd have to generate 3, 4, 5 movement points to get in there without alerting those other draconum. And then we could launch the attack in there. I don't have that siege attack anymore. That was used up. We've got expose, and we could use that. Target enemies would lose fortifications and resistances this combat, and that would be useful. It'll give us range attack 2. And now we get to do our level up. So that's going to give us 1 card from the advanced actions offer and a skill. And this is a tough decision. Physical resistance, siege attack 3, pure magic. I guess I'll take the pure magic card. We'll put that on the top of our deed deck. We'll shift these down and see what the new one is. And that's maximal effect. Okay. And we'll see what's in our skill offer. And those are the 2. Okay, the first one is dueling. Once a turn, during a block phase, block 1, attack 1 versus the same enemy in the attack phase if you do not use any unit ability to block, attack, or affect this enemy, nor assign damage from it to any unit. You gain 1 more fame for damaging it. Okay. The other one is taunt. Once a turn during the block phase, either reduce the attack of an enemy by 1 or increase the attack of an enemy by 2 and reduce armor of the same enemy by 2 for a minimum of 1. The armor reduction does not happen if that enemy is prevented from attacking. Okay. Well, I guess we'll take the taunt. I'll go with that. And we'll see what the offer is for Tovok. And that one is I don't give a damn. Once a turn, 1 card played sideways gives you +2 instead of +1. If it's an advanced action, spell, or artifact, it gives +3. All right, so we've gained 1 of each crystal. We've got 3 white, a blue, a green, and a red. And our new hand now is going to consist of the pure magic, concentration, expose, march, rage, and rage. So that will be our hand for the coming turn. Now I have one other problem. If I enter the city from this location, that is going to bring those dragons into the conflict. So we're going to have to move to this mine and move into the city from there in order to prevent those draconum from entering the battle. So that really complicates stuff. Okay, we'll take care of Tovok. A white, a red, and a blue. Well, he's going to get 3 more for the blue. Green, blue, and white. Okay, he's still got quite a few cards there. Okay, we are up next, and I'm going to have to generate some movement to get into the hills in that mine to be able to attack the city from the northeast. So we got to generate 3 movement. And unfortunately, I have only 1 move card. That's a march. And we can power that. I have green mana in the supply and green mana in my inventory. So I guess I'll use the green mana from the source. That'll give us 4 movement points. It'll be sufficient to enter the mine. And this is gone now. And I think we're going to have to end our turn there because I'm going to need to get more movement to enter the city. And we have a total of 5 cards. So I think I'll just try to soft pedal this. We're going to have a little time left because Tovok is moving a little slower than normal. So I think we will do it this way. I'm going to end my turn there. We'll re-roll this mana die. It is green once again, which is good. We'll clean up our cards and draw another card. And this time we've got stamina. Okay, that will help because that'll give us the movement we'll need to enter the city. All right. Okay, here's Tovok's movement. 1, 2, and 3. It's blue, so 3 more. 1 and 2. That's it. So he is going to declare end of round next turn. Incidentally, I made another oversight. We have 2 monasteries on the board. I forgot to mark this. So we should have another card in that offer. And it's going to be Rush of Adrenaline. So we'll add that to our offer for the monasteries. All right, I've got 3 cards left in the deed deck, and we're going to have a total of 2 turns. This turn, Tovok will pass, and we'll have 1 last turn of daylight. So I have to decide what we're going to do here. I don't know if I've got enough to take out those things that are guarding the city. They're going to be gaining the brutal ability. So I'm going to have to do the math on this and see if that's possible. Both of them, 2 of them are fire resistant. 1 is physical resistant as well, so that's going to be really tough. And I think we're just going to declare the end of round. I can't get enough. I don't have enough block in order to even try something like this. So we need to get block, and I'll just have to take my chances. This way we're going to have our savage, monks, and foresters available to us, plus all of our skills. So we'll just go to end of round. Okay, moving to end of round, we're going to give this green card to Tovok. He's also going to gain a green mana token. That's his first. And then we'll refresh this offer. See what happens. Blood Rage, Stout Resolve, and Diplomacy. All right. Next will be the spells. See what happens with those. Meditation, Restoration, and Space Bending. Okay, we'll reset our unit offer. Now we've got 2 monasteries out there, so we'll get 2 new cards for that. Mana Storm and Power Crystals, and then we'll reset our offer. 2 gold and 1 silver. Gold back is Delphana Masters, silver is Herbalists, and the other gold is Ice Golems. And I don't think we'll have enough time to utilize those. We'll switch to a night turn and we'll make our roll. 2 black and a blue, so we can't have the 2 black. Black and a white and a blue. The black is going to be very good for us. Okay. Okay, we'll have to pick our night tactic, and we've got a choice between midnight meditation and sparing power. One time this night, before any of your turns, you may shuffle up to 5 cards, including wounds, from your hand back into your deed deck, and then draw that many cards, then flip this card face down. Sparing power. Once before the start of each turn, choose one. Put one top on top of your deed deck, face down under this card, or flip this card down and put all deed cards under it into your hand. Well, I think I'll take the midnight meditation. That'll let us go first. So he'll have the sparing power, and we're going to get the first move, so that might help a little bit. Okay, we're going to draw our cards from our deed deck. We got 6 of them coming. And we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we've got Spellforge, Mana Draw, Temporal Portal, Improvisation, Concentration, and Swiftness. Okay. Well, if we're going to have any chance, we're going to have to take on that Red City right now. I could use Midnight Meditation and we'd be able to get rid of some cards that we don't need, but all of those are cards that we need. I guess I can do that. It wouldn't be very valuable because I can only really get rid of 2. That's the Temporal Portal and Mana Draw. And I guess we'll do it. We'll shuffle those back in and take 2 new cards. And that gives us a block, though, at least. A Promise and Determination gives us a block 5. So we've got those cards now. All right. We've used our Midnight Meditation. Now the problem is I don't have enough block to do all this stuff. I can generate some siege attack with my Savage Monks and a green mana, and we would be able to take out the Medusa, but then I'm going to be undergoing a 9 strength fire attack and a 3 strength ice attack, one of which is going to be the paralyzing variety. And then on top of it all, I forgot, all the units in the city have Brutal. So if unblocked, it's going to deal twice as much damage. So I worked it out, I'm able to take out the Medusa with Siege. I'm able to block these freezers. I can do that. So I wouldn't take the paralysis, but then I would take double the damage from a Brutal Dragon. So that'll be a total of 18 divided by 3 is 6. I'll take 6 wounds. That'll knock me out. So no matter what I do, even if I go in and attempt to take out 2 of them, I'm going to be knocked out with the dragon attack. So I just can't do it. What I was proposing to do was to play Swiftness, moving me into the city. Then I would use my Savage Monks, powering that with green mana, giving me a siege attack 4, which is enough to take out the Medusa. Then I would have to generate block. I have this special ability called Taunt that would reduce him to 2, but he's swift. So 2 times 2 is 4. I'd have to come up with 8 block to block him, which I can do. I've got 5 powered with a blue mana from the supply. And I could also play Improvisation. That would get me with another card. I'll use this Promise card, 3 more block, that's 8 block. So I would have blocked the freezers, but now I'm going to take brutal damage from the dragon. That'll be a total of 18 divided by 3 is 6 wounds, and that will take me out. I'd lose these last 2 cards, and that would be the end of the night. So I'm just going to call the game here. Nothing I can do. I made a lot of errors in this tactically and with some of the rules, of course, but that's part of this. We're still learning the game, you know, and this thing has a lot of moving parts, and it just takes time to get into you have to do enough playthroughs of this to get into a pattern where this stuff becomes second nature. So I think what I'll do then is I'm going to end the video, and we'll try this again in the future. Maybe by then I'll have built up a little skill, and this would hopefully be a little bit more competitive playthrough. Now, I've got some interesting games coming up in the future. The next game that we're going to be playing is a pirate game, which I love pirate games. I've had this game in the collection, but I've never brought it to the channel. And that'll be the next game that we'll be playing. After that, I've got another game on order that should be coming in 7 days, and that's going to take us to mid-19th century Africa, and we're going to be some explorers exploring the African continent. So I look forward to bringing you those videos in the future. So thank you so much for tuning in to the Solo Gamers Club. I hope that this video series was somewhat useful for the viewers, and if nothing less, we've pointed out some errors that the viewers can be aware of, and hopefully you won't make those during your playthroughs of the game. I have to say, this is definitely one of the best solitaire games on the market. There's no doubt about it. I actually think that I've never played this in a multiplayer setting, but I think that this game exceeds at solitaire. I don't think there's anything close to this on the market for the depth and breadth that it gives you. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time on the channel. And in the meantime, this is Keith from the Solo Gamers Club signing off and wishing everyone a pleasant evening. Good night.